Right, it's out with the old and in with the new. So what's it about then, Bob? Well, it's time for a video update on my X8P SkySurfer, which I bought for an amazing £35 for the basic kit as a replacement for my battered and aging old Bixler, because it's a Bixler clone. And as you can see here, my old one was getting well beyond its sell-by date. Anyway, after the brilliant maiden of the SkySurfer, including the silly mistake I made, which is included in the video, I figured it was time to install the SpeedyBee flight controller into it. I've taken the SpeedyBee out of the old Bixler, although you can still see there's one in there, and that's because I've replaced it with one that I damaged by misconnecting a transmitter to it and blew out the on-screen display part of the board. Bit of a warning there, be very careful how you connect cameras to one of these SpeedyBee flight controllers, or any flight controller. Anyway, that one still works as far as the GPS and return to home goes, so I'm not totally retiring it, but as you can see, it pretty much had its day. So how am I getting on with the SkySurfer? Well, let me show you. Well, first off, I've installed the SpeedyBee F405 Wing Mini in it. And let me tell you, it was a tight fit and not an easy job, but it's in. It's sitting on a little pad in there and it's secured with a barbecue stick across it to hold it in place. And this time it's actually looking pretty tidy. Won't be long before I break the nose on this, I suppose. But anyway, centre of gravity hasn't worked out quite as well with this as it did with the old Bixler, because the Bixler, at one point I broke the tail off and it had carbon in it, which meant battery position could be much further forward. It's still pretty happy with the 2200 3S in the front here, but it has to go way up about as far as I can get it there. So pretty pleased with that. Even did a nice tidy job with the GPS, because I've lost a couple of these by putting them on the wing in a not very secure fashion. What else have I done to it? Not a lot really. I've got an undercarriage coming, but I'm not sure that I'm going to use it. I might get brave and try and use auto launch with iNav, but haven't actually worked up the nerve to do that. So what I'm doing at the moment with this is I'm still on my quest to fly proper FPV with one of these. I've had a few short flights, but a few fails. One where I actually lost the plane, but luckily enough found it. But as far as the Bixler goes, I'd actually built quite a few nice little inserts here that go into the cockpit, so that I've got integrated analog video and cameras. That's a little keychain cam, very light. That's an old Inob, which were very good cameras that I reviewed probably 7 or 8 years ago, but it's also got FPV out and it's got its own little analog transmitter on it. And this one here is the best of all, but I'm not going to risk it until I actually have some very confident successful flights. This is an SJCam M20 I reviewed a few years ago. Superb 4K I think it does, but at 1080 it's got gyro stabilization. That is probably the best one. But problem with these is they were designed to go in the Bixler. Cockpit was wider and, as you can see, pretty battered. So what I'm actually doing now is, and there's no 3D printer in my house, what I'm doing now is making a nice foam board insert to go in here. It's even got the little magnet on it to go in there to take a camera I bought quite recently, which was a replacement for my Firefly Hawkeye Q6. Brilliant little camera. Actually records 4K, it's got IAS. This was a very cheap one I got from AliExpress. Unfortunately, they didn't tell you how to get FPV working from it, but if you buy one of these cheap ones, 50 quid instead of 100 odd, long press of the shutter there will actually get FPV working. So I'm just making a mount so that this can sit, just needs to come a little bit higher on this by about so much, so that that can sit there, and then I shall mount a transmitter here. Part of the reason for mounting the transmitter very close to the camera is, in my early experiments with FPV, I was getting a lot of interference on the on-screen display, which is not good. So hopefully that's going to work out. I'll show you when I come back and get this finished. And the connection method, I use these 3-pin servo type plugs. Obviously on that it's just the outer 2 connections for the video feed, because this doesn't require power. If it's a camera with power you can actually use all 3. And the camera plugs into a lead like that plugs into the SpeedyBee, so it's removable, and the transmitter plugs into a 4-way, which unfortunately is the same as that used by a 4-way LiPo balance plug. and unfortunately one day, being a bit casual, I actually plugged a 4-way balance plug into it and destroyed the video part of the SpeedyBee board, which is a good lesson in being careful how you connect things up. But you live and learn, so obviously I'm much more careful about those connections now. But I'll come back in a bit once I've actually made that mount and show you how hopefully it's all going to work. Right, well, I found a piece of scrap foam from packaging, because obviously the camera needs to sit a little bit higher on there so that it looks over the nose, and that gives it just about the right angle. So I'm going to glue that on, a little bit of Velcro there, and then barbecue stick through here, rubber band over the top. Keep it simple, make a hole through there so that these leads will go through to my connections that I showed you, and I'll make a foam board mount here for the video transmitter. Come back in a bit once I've done that. Right, so there it is. You can't beat foam board for custom making little inserts and so on if you haven't got a 3D printer, and how many of us do have a 3D printer? Anyway, so there it is, dead easy to connect to transmitter via the little plug that I use. Camera will sit nicely on that. I'm not going to actually put it on because Paul doesn't seem to like gluing foam, but bit of Velcro there. Camera will sit there. Oh, actually it's going quite well. Camera will sit there. Wait a minute. Well, first off, obviously, good thing about this system of using little plugs is cameras are interchangeable, because that can go through there. That will go nicely there, and the angle is about right. Obviously, for the maiden with the SpeedyBee in, I won't put this camera on. Let's see, is that going to peel off nicely? Yes, it is going to peel off nicely. I will probably put on one of these little cameras that will sit on the Velcro there, or even my little old keychain camera, which will also record, although now I've got my new goggles, they record, so I'm not quite so stuck. But having said that, because I'm using analog, the goggles aren't recording particularly good video, whereas the advantage of using a camera that records is not only do I get on-screen display on my goggles, but this little camera will record without the on-screen display, but in much better quality. So there it is, pretty pleased with it, and I've just connected it all up just to make sure everything's working. So quick test with this little receiver, which is great for checking stuff when you're working at home, or even checking stuff when you're out at the airfield. Let's just switch that on and see if we have video signal. And we do. Look at that, with on-screen display, because obviously it's going through the SpeedyBee. So there you are. It's working, ready to go. All I need is a day with some decent weather and a spotter. Right, well, as you saw, everything's working as it should be, and that was genuinely the first time I plugged it in, completely plugged into the SpeedyBee board, so I was a bit nervous about it, but everything's working fine. Let's take a look and see how well the centre of gravity is going to work out with both the yellow camera and just the normal FPV out camera with no recording ability. I've got a distinct feeling, because I've already done some tests, I will admit, that I'm going to need to put 3 or 4 grams on the tail to actually get this to balance, but 3 or 4 grams isn't bad. Of course, I could have actually mounted cameras here, but much better to actually get the, as I've discovered, much better to actually get the video transmitter and the camera as well away from stuff like speed controller, which is way back here, and receivers and GPSs and so on. So that's why it's good to put the camera up the front. Right, let's see how the centre of gravity is going to work out. Right, 2200 milliamp 3S. I'm not going to put it on the Velcro because it's a pain to pull it off. Let's just slip that in as far back as I can possibly get it. Put on my transmitter, put on the camera, and let's see, this has got pre-moulded marks underneath. Let's see how it's going to balance. Yeah, nose heavy. So I've got some lead there. I've got some lead. I'm hoping that just 3 or 4 grams on the tail will be enough. Right, well, there's 10 grams there. I'm hoping that 10 grams on the tail is going to be enough to sort that out. Let's see, put that there, not far off, 10 grams on the tail. And obviously with a small camera, even less weight on the tail. So I'm pretty pleased with the way that's worked out. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, it helps my algorithms. And if you want to see my continuing journey through trying to fly FPV, actually see, that's not bad. 10 grams on there, and that's not bad. So if you want to see the continuing journey, why not hit the old subscribe button? It's been a long road, I must admit. I've covered most of it in previous videos. It took me a couple of weeks to get into learning how iNav works properly. But that's all for now. As I say, I'll leave you with the maiden of the X86, and a rather silly mistake I made at the start, but it flew beautifully afterwards because it's a Bixler clone, and the Bixler is absolutely fabulous plane. So I'll leave you with that and hopefully catch you all later in the new year. So safe flying, bye for now.